All right. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining me.
Oh, hey, you're welcome. Happy to be here. The biggest thing is that there's sort of pitfalls from where you come from, and there's things that are your strengths as well. So the first thing that comes to mind with elite athletes is the pitfall is we're scoreboard people, right? We just are. We always want to be on the top of the scoreboard, whatever scoreboard that's going to be. And what that can lead to in your financial life is maybe not being as balanced as you should be, or taking on more chances than you should, because you want to be on top of that scoreboard right away. And that's not necessarily the right way to think about it. The pros, though, in terms of there's lots of them, but the one pro there is the discipline, right? If you're going to be an athlete at any level, elite, semi-elite, whatever you want to call it, I mean, you got to have discipline. You got to be able to follow that plan. So what we find is that with a lot of athletes is if they can find a plan that resonates with them, that makes sense to them, they're able to stick to that to a T. Yeah, I think anytime you hear about a stock in the locker room, just run away from that one. But I mean, in terms of how we look at things, it's all about building your net worth, right? This has got nothing to do with, at the first part, it's got nothing to do with picking individual stocks. And what you really need to focus on is getting things together. And the way that we like to look at it, just in terms of our service that we provide, is you need to find somebody who's going to be able to take all of the things in your financial life. They're going to be able to put those together so that they work together and so that you're heading towards the right direction. If your first door that you want to go through is picking a stock, my estimation is you're going about it the wrong way. You've got to get a plan first. You've got to get your structure right first. Then you can worry about investments. Then you can worry about stocks down the line, and maybe to specifically pick on individual stocks as well. I mean, if we compare this to a casino, do you want to be the casino? Do you want to own the casino? Or do you want to be the guy playing in the casino?
Nice.
I don't go to the casino very often, but I never win. House always wins, and everybody knows that. Yet in the stock market, everyone wants to be the person who's betting and is going in there and making bets. Whereas if you just go with the market, which is diversified, has always done well over time, you own the casino. So you don't want to give that up just to become a stock picker and talk about something in the dressing room. Is literally what you own. So you got a value of what you own against what you owe. So if you've got a house that's worth $3 million, that's great. It's another great thing to say in the dressing room. I got a house worth $3 million. But if you've got a mortgage against that of $2.8 million, your net worth is $200,000. Whereas if you have no mortgage, your net worth is $3 million. Right? So the really important thing here is not that you own that house, it's how much of that house you own in the end. I mean, the debt side of it is so huge, and it's actually become more of one of those common mistakes in the last 5 to 10 years than it was before that. Everyone can get a credit card. You used to be able to get a student credit card, and you'd have a balance available to you of maybe $200, right? That's when I was in university, that's how it worked. And nowadays, it seems like everybody can get thousands of dollars on their credit card. And some people, the advice is put everything on your credit card, and then you can track it. You can track with what you're doing, right? I think the opposite way. I think if you're putting something on your credit card, it doesn't hurt enough, right? This is money that is out there. It's not your money. It's not. So until you get to a position where that's part of the whole management of things, actually try to avoid the credit card if you can. That's for emergency purposes. You use your debit card because that's going to hurt. If you got $1,000 and you got to make a decision here on something, and there's this credit card out there, it's easy to say, well, yeah, no problem. I can afford that. I'll get it next month or the month after that. That's where the problem starts. And it really is one of those things that it might become a big problem, or it might just get in the way of the important things that you need to be able to do to get your plan going. That the average person actually spends less time planning their finances in a year than they do planning their vacations. That doesn't seem to make any sense, but that's the reality. And for most people, that's the challenge. So one thing you have to do is you got to dedicate a little bit of time. The steps that you actually want to go through are one, you got to sit down. You got to have some sort of vision on where you want to go. You wouldn't start out a hockey career. You wouldn't start out a business. You wouldn't start out any of those things without some sort of vision about where you want to go. So you want to sit down and be realistic with yourself and say, where do I want to be in 2 years? Where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in retirement? They don't have to be right down to the number, but you have to have some sense of where you're going. And then from there, you really need to look at all the areas, and I'll sort of go back to these, but the areas that you want to actually get down on paper are, what does that look like from an income perspective in terms of your plan? What does that look like in terms of real estate, investments, protection, which is your estate plan or your insurance, debt management, tax management, banking. Those are the key areas that you want to have in your plan so that you can manage those going forward. Once you got that plan in place, maybe the most important thing here, and that's in anything that you do, is implementation. Right? Lots of people get it down on paper. Nobody gets it done. And you might need somebody to help you with that, but it's implementation is the key to this whole thing. The tough part is it takes time and effort, but it's probably time and effort well spent, right? It's a heck of a lot easier to get a discount broker account and land on some marijuana stock. That's easy to do. In our estimation, again, that's not the right way to do it. I think, real estate's pretty important, and one of the things that we've talked about is, what do? You get, people who are in the situation where the guys are in the room there. How should they think about real estate? And the first thing that comes to my mind is panic. Just, absolutely panic, and of course that's not the right thing to do, right? So real estate is going to be one of the cornerstones, one of the most important things that you're ever going to be involved with. You need to have real estate, and having real estate close to a major metropolis for a long period of time is going to be a huge driver of your net worth. The thing that you got to watch out for is that you're going into this the right way. And the right way means that you're not putting yourself in a position where you can't afford it and you put everything you possibly can into that real estate asset, because rule number one in real estate is never be forced to sell that real estate. As long as you can do that, as long as you can weather a down market, a downturn, whatever that might be, and you can hold on to that real estate, then you're going to be fine. You're going to be in great shape. But if you don't, if you set yourself up for failure and somebody you get a cash squeeze and you have to sell that real estate, that's really where you get hurt. For me anyways, not paying yourself first. So this concept, and this was the concept that came out in a book called The Wealthy Barber a long time ago. The concept is, through everything that you get in, whether it's a paycheck or self-employment or whatever that might be, you got to put some savings away for retirement. You got to put eventually some savings away for education savings, but that has to be done as soon as you get that money in. So you're going to pay yourself first into that retirement plan before it comes into your bank account, and you have the chance to go and spend that on something else. So that's a really important concept. It seems really simple, but you got to be disciplined with it, and you got to stick to it. And whether it's 10% or 15%, start with something. And once you've embedded that habit, you'll be surprised. You'll have that habit for the rest of your life. Yeah. So the other pitfall, because I'll mention this one because it's not, it wouldn't be one that would come to people's mind, is that you want to have a balanced attack. You never put together a hockey team of forwards, right? You never have a bench full of forwards. That'd be ridiculous, right? You got different people who play different roles. Yet what tends to happen is somebody gets money. So let's say they got $1,000 or $100 in their hand, and they say, well, what am I going to do with this? And the decision point is, well, do I put it towards investments or debt or this? And for some reason, it's an all-in-one solution. It doesn't have to be. What it should be is $50 of that should go to the investment, because that's where my plan is going. $50 of that should go towards debt, and that should be across the board that way. It shouldn't be that it's one way or the other. So you need to have a balanced attack. And again, why you need a plan is that you need to know what that balanced attack is every time you get that $100 in your hands. Yeah, big difference, right? So we've got, we go back to debt on this one. So, we buy something for, buy a car for $30,000. You have to treat that as if that $30,000 is going to zero, because the value of that car is going to zero, right? Vastly different than taking out $30,000 to buy a house, which over time has always appreciated. Those are two different animals altogether. They needed to be treated much differently. One off is obviously more dangerous than the other, and the one in the house is actually something that you need to take advantage of. The other one is one that you want to try and minimize, avoid, or at least be realistic that you need to pay that down before that thing is worth zero. Yeah. Otherwise, you have a negative asset,
right?
Which is even worse than having no asset at all. You got a huge advantage, and that advantage is you've been around enough dressing rooms, around enough situations that you can read people probably better than most people. So when you're putting together a team, when somebody comes to you with some cockamamie scheme that seems to make you a lot of money, whatever that is, use your skill of reading people to make sure you get the right people in your corner. Right? I think that's one of the things that we, with my kids anyway, that's why I want them to be involved with sport, because it's so important to get those skills of reading people. As one thing that's difficult, I think, for athletes as well is sometimes to ask for help. We come up in this era, in this genre, where you got a lot of pride. You don't necessarily want to ask for help, and you're competing, right? Probably the most powerful four-letter word in the English language is help.
Now, we're building a network actually online through our site of guys like yourself and myself who are literally willing to sit and have a coffee with somebody.
Yeah, we probably do a heck of a lot more than that already, and willing to do it. I mean, this is something that I was lucky with, right, Nate? I had all these people that if I wanted to change tact or I wanted to go to a different direction, I didn't have to go in there and feel like somebody was interviewing me. I could just say, hey, I got to bounce a couple things off you. Let me know if I'm crazy or not. Nader.
Tom.
Can you hear me okay?
Perfectly. Yeah, if it's kind of straight on, as though I was filmed right in front of your face.
Excellent. I can't really see what it looks like, so as long as that looks all right, we're good.